Well, for 30 years, Cathedral Arts Project has served students in the Jacksonville area through arts education and counseling. And for a closer look at their celebration of this milestone year, we're pleased to be joined by Melanie Hammer, a vice president at Cathedral Arts Project. Melanie, when you look back at what your organization's done for the community, what are you most proud of?
So I am most proud that in the past 30 years, we have reached over 33,000 students with high quality arts education in dance, music, theater, and visual arts, and also our therapeutic programs in art counseling, sensory art, and music therapy. So I think that's really great, mostly in underserved communities. So when parents and families can't afford arts education and their student goes to them and says, you know, I want to take violin lessons or dance lessons, and it's not possible, that's kind of where we step in. We offer free arts programming in both visual and performing arts throughout our community. So that's what I'm most proud of.
When you see a student come in before they've really taken advantage of any of the programs, what type of growth have you been able to see in their personality and maybe even their academic side of things because of the outlet or influence of art?
So that's a great question. We see students who maybe are very introverted, speaking up in class. We see growth in math scores and literacy scores and science scores. So really students coming out of their shell, both inside the classroom and outside of the classroom, because the arts really develop those 21st century skills that really can't be taught. So perseverance, self-confidence, teamwork, collaboration, really those skills that we want inside of our classroom, but also outside of the classroom, post-secondary studies, and in the workforce.
There's a fascinating program. I was not aware of this until I was told about this earlier, but I understand there's a program called Connecting Through Music, and it's for students with disabilities. How important is it to truly offer a project and programs that are truly encompassing for every student?
So we just acquired Connecting Through Music in September, and they offered music therapy to students during the day and after school. So that now is part of our Capabilities program. So that's our program for students with disabilities. So that includes now music therapy, art counseling, and sensory art. So there's over 20,000 students in Duval County with disabilities. So being able to provide services for those students is imperative. I mean, we have to be able to get those students where they are and teach them those skills to help them be successful inside the classroom, outside the classroom. So how to have eye contact when having a conversation with somebody, learning things like personal space, how to make friends, so all of those kinds of skills.
The lessons continue for many other types of students as well. Arts for Justice involved youth. How impactful is it to reach students or even just young people, if they may not be in school, who have potentially gone down the wrong path early, to give them yet again another outlet to find inspiration for their life?
Right, so our program for arts involved Justice Involved Youth is at the Johnny Good Pretrial Detention Center. So we work with young men 12 to 17 who are awaiting trial. And again, teaching those skills of teamwork, collaboration, but more importantly is that expressing yourself through other means, right? Not necessarily physical violence. Or sometimes students in that age group especially young men, have a really hard time expressing themselves verbally. That's a skill that adults have a hard time with. So can you imagine our children really have a hard time with? And the arts has an ability to allow students and children and young adults a way to express themselves in a way that verbally they struggle with. So that program really teaches those young men how to engage in ways to express themselves through the artwork.
How many of these young men have maybe completed the program, if you will, and have you been able to interact with them before and then after they've received all this education?
So our teacher who teaches that, he does follow up with the students, and some of them continue their artwork as a therapeutic means when they leave the program, as a way of just that mental health component, and has been very successful, and also as a way of as a career too. So they go into the arts after.
We have a little bit of time left. I'm fascinated. What's the next step of growth for Cathedral Arts Project? And also, if viewers at home see this interview and they want their kids involved, or they themselves want to be involved, how can they go about doing that?
So growth, we want to make sure we can reach kids where they are. So all students should have access to an arts-rich education. So not just traditional public schools, but being able to reach students who are homeschooled or in charter schools, and also surrounding counties. So making sure that we can expand into St. John's, Clay, and Nassau County, and then visiting our website, capkids.org, to get involved, get your children involved.
Wonderful, and we will have that link within this story on our website, firstcoastnews.com. Melanie, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on the first 30 years of Cathedral Arts Project.
Thank you for having me.
We're back right after this.